Hey guys, it's Connor, and today we're going to talk about how to get the highest quality when uploading our videos to Instagram. If you are a visual creative or content creator of some kind, you're on Instagram to showcase your work, but the downside is Instagram is a social media platform, so it's about quantity, it's not necessarily about quality. So video quality and image quality is not of the utmost importance to them. This of course is at odds with exactly what we're trying to do, which is to create the best, highest quality visuals we possibly can. So we're going to talk about a few tips today to make sure that when you're uploading video to Instagram, it maintains the best quality possible to show off your work. We're going to be looking at what export settings you should use, as well as how to get those files from your computer onto your phone so you can get them up to Instagram in the best image quality possible. Before we get to the actual uploading, it's really important that we look at a couple considerations. The first is going to be how you edit that video. The video we have here is a music video that I shot. If that's something that interests you, feel free to reach out and follow me on Instagram for more of that kind of content. But let's say I was editing this for a big movie screen because it was going to be played in a movie theater. I don't have to worry too much about if people are going to be able to make out all the little details because it's such a large screen. However, with Instagram being a cell phone platform and primarily being watched on much smaller screens, it might be good for me to tweak things a little bit. And in this case, I've just added a little bit of sharpening. It might be tough to see, but here's the before and here's the after. So it's just a little bit punchier. It might be tough to see through YouTube's compression, but things like sharpening or maybe a little bit of added contrast might be good for the platform. The second consideration we should look at is the aspect ratio. This is not about quality, this is just a little bit of an Instagram tip, but most videos are shot in widescreen or 16:9. But as you know, Instagram offers other options as well. You can post 1:1 square photos, or you can post 4:5, which are those much longer photos that take up so much of your screen. So if you want to make sure that your video's going to get the most engagement, you might want to use the most room possible. To give you an example of how to do that, I took this 16:9 video and I made a frame for it. So now I've got it presented in a 4:5 image. So it's going to take up the most room possible, but I'm not stretching or cropping my video in order to make that work. That's totally just a side tip, but I do really recommend it for getting the most engagement and views on your video posts. Once your video is done being edited, we need to go to File and Export Media. This is where most of the work is going to be done to make sure we're getting the best quality. The settings we're going to be using here are the ones that Instagram actually recommends. The reason we're doing that is because if you upload a video to Instagram that doesn't match its recommended settings, it will automatically transcode that video to match those recommended settings. While this is very handy because you don't have to worry about what type of video you're uploading, it does have consequences. Not all transcoding is created equal. And in the case of Instagram, you might find that its transcoding process is a little bit more destructive and a little bit lower quality than if you just simply uploaded the right settings in the first place so it doesn't have to go through that destructive process. The first thing we're going to want to check is make sure that your format here is set to H.264. It's a very standard kind of web format of compressed video, and again, it is what Instagram recommends. We're going to skip a lot of the basic video settings and just leave them the way they are, but we are going to check render at maximum depth. As we scroll down, we can come to the bitrate settings, and the bitrate is basically how much information is being processed over a given length of time. When it comes to bitrate, you have two main options. You've got CBR and VBR. CBR is a constant bitrate, which means for every single frame of your video, it's going to use the same amount of data. However, not every frame of a video requires the same amount of data. If you have just a black screen, it doesn't need a lot of data to tell you it's a black screen. Whereas if you have an image like the one we see on our screen, it's much more complex, so it needs more data to provide all the necessary detail to make out that image. So by using VBR, or a variable bitrate, it means that if a black screen is showing or any other frame that doesn't require as much detail, it'll save space by using much less data. When it comes to bitrate, Instagram actually doesn't have a recommendation for this, so instead I've based it off of YouTube's recommendations. Instagram is basically a 1080p platform. You can't upload true 4K or anything like that. It's just going to downscale anything bigger than that to 1080. So I just used the 1080p bitrate recommendations that YouTube does, which is around 15. I haven't noticed any difference in quality by raising this higher than 15, especially when you're viewing it on that small screen. You just can't make out any differences if they are there. So I would do 15. It keeps everything high quality, but it keeps your export and your upload much faster. It's worth double checking. If you go to the audio tab over here, make sure that your audio format is set to AAC. Same with the codec. The sample rate should be 48,000 and stereo. Audio quality really doesn't matter when it comes to a small cell phone speaker, but it should default to high and 320. If it hasn't, just change it to that. Those are good round numbers that are still good quality for the format. Once you're all done, you can go ahead and hit export. It's going to start doing a single pass all the way up to 100%, and then it's going to do its second pass. So don't worry, your export hasn't stalled out or anything like that. It just has to go through this process twice. Now that your video is exported, we need to get it onto our phone before we can get it to Instagram. So we've got two options here. The first is we can use something like AirDrop. If you have a Mac and an iPhone, you can instantly send that file to your phone right away. If you don't have that option, I like to use something like Dropbox or Google Drive, anything where I can sort of upload the file to a shared folder and then download it onto my phone. So here I've got Dropbox open, I have my Instagram folder, and I'm just pasting the file in here, and it will automatically upload it to my Dropbox account. Once that finishes uploading, you can open Dropbox on your phone, find your file, and export and save the video to your phone. Then when you open Instagram, you'll have the ability to upload that video. I have spent a ton of time experimenting with Instagram and trying to get the most out of it, and this is by far the best results I've had yet is by using this method, so hopefully it helps you out too. If this video helped you, I'd really appreciate you helping me back by liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff that you already know how to do, and until then, I will see you in the next video.